everybody, and welcome to another episode of Charismatic Mystery. Tonight we're playing the module Curse of Strahd, but it's changed, transformed, and we're playing in the system and the setting of Frostmark RPG, everything created by Meulen. There's a content warning for tonight of bad language, heavy topics, gothic horror, and perhaps some gore. We shall see. But with me I have a wonderful cast of players. I got Lady Lyra, half of Megan's played by Julie, and welcome.
Hello.
Hello. Hamardia Archbishop Warlock played by Cookie. Hi.
Oh, we are done goofed.
Next to the Vestadia Tiefling Bard played by Adrian, being choked currently. And maybe, or maybe not, Master Irius, our dwarf wizard played by Bowie. Hello.
Currently watching from the bushes.
Alright, gang, what happened last time?
You don't know.
I do know.
We realized that Strahd is apparently into choking.
Oh my god,
I
okay,
mean,
from the
on.
beginning, from the beginning!
From the beginning, ladies and gentlemen. We started last episode in as the battlefield cleared and the lifeless body of Hula laid at our feet and just the wailing of Nikna to pierce the silence. Until we were done with that. And we said, okay, you take her away because, you know, we can't deal with you crying.
Oh no!
More or less. We acquired a couple of magical items that we looted from the battlefield.
You're not gonna comment upon what I wrote there?
I mean, you want to read like for like with my radio voice.
No. I just want to point out that you scared her away with your conversation about shafts.
I mean, so, with Bexxy's wording,
Are you okay?
quote, when you decline to answer Nikna's heartfelt explanation by being engrossed in a conversation about shaft, Nikla dejectedly leaves, as she is a lesbian after all, and shafts, for some reason. You think, like, she would be more interested in, you know,
Okay, moving on.
I mean, you did find a big hole, so if she just...
Oh my god!
I mean, she should have grabbed that big piece of wood
Okay,
for herself.
moving on.
Okay. Nix decides to have the party take in the moment with recognizing what we have just accomplished together, despite everything that we have endured up until this point. And mentioned a couple of things regarding Rin and her involvement, and how this defeat of Winter Splinter, the big old tree, might affect things. However, as we did that, Hamakia's like, hey, neat, stones. No, it was Illyria that was Stony girl. She got stoned. And Hamakia was like instantly scared about stones. And Nyx was like, wait, what are we talking about with stones? So we tracked the stones that were moving by themselves towards a crevice, a vast void in the ground. But before we could, chop away the bushes with magical weapons, because that is what they're used for, Nyx is like, hey, castle in the sky. And then Studio Ghibli music stops playing. Not really. But he calls over Hermatia and say, hey, do you see that funky city in the sky? / in the distance beyond the mist? And Illyria had a strange little flashback about walking through the streets of Philadelphia. No, walking through the streets of this town as Tatiana. And it was heckin' spoopy, but it was also heckin' super fun to see the animation.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen it, go back to the VOD, enjoy it. It's pretty cool. But nevertheless, after that VOD played out, and Illyria's like, hey, been there, done that. We decided whether or not we would try and fly there or get there somehow, or to go down a deep, dark tunnel. And we chose the tunnel because it was right there. And we had already done the clearing out of the bushes, so, might as well. We go down, deep down, down, into a tunnel of great tunnelness. Beneath the mountain of a hill, rather than a mountain. So, because we had this,
You have a certain tired energy right now, I don't want to say.
we have a certain, we had a prophecy. The party, Team Trauma, had a prophecy to go into a mountain, and even though this was a hill, we didn't want to, gaslight it for not being big enough, and yet we went down inside it anyway. And below the roots of Winter Splinter and the rest of the vegetation on top, we found something even more spoopy than we could possibly have thought about. But Tamachi is like, neat. Let's go touch some more stones. And like the party stays back, and Nyx and Ezzy are kind of goading each other on to get a little bit closer. But nevertheless, we have a very spoopy encounter where Hamartia gets all, possessed by some sort of entity. Which Nyx has already deciphered as to be like this weird blend of Fae, Fiend, and Elemental. So this entity embraces Hamartia and levitates her up into the air. And Illyria was like, hey, not cool, but kind of cool at the same time. And Hamartia receives a vision. Hamartia? What is your vision?
Yeah, please take over, Cookie.
Okay. Wow. Situation is bad if I'm the one that has to take over.
Yeah.
And,
Between a rock and a hard place.
Okay, I'll read from you because you have the most concise sort of reading shit.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah?
Give me a moment. Okay, so Hamartia began the vision by having the great sensation of falling to an inky doom for a while. So she was just falling, tumbling down a void, a black void. And then she finally landed. And before her stood these three ginormous objects. The first one on the left being this absolutely towering mountain casting a shadow. The second one was a fierce tornado. And the third one was a giant maelstrom, which is basically a really big whirlpool, for those of you who don't know. So, she got over and she was like, hey, what's up, elementals? And they're like, oh shit, we're in pain. She feels that she doesn't really talk to them. It's more of a feeling-based communication sort of way. And she feels that they are in pain and something is absolutely horrendously wrong. Then she notices that these large chains that seem to almost shackle these objects that connect to what seems to be the form of three hags of the land. So we have Reign of Mount Gakis on the mountain, we have Morgantha on the tornado, and Baba Saga on the whirlpool. So that's earth, wind, and water, unlike earth, wind, and fire, which is a band.
Do you remember? Sorry.
And in the center, there is this misty sort of dome that seems to be like a dome of mist that seems to be channeled from them, almost like they are taking parts of these beings, and then they combine them and mix them into this dome of mist, which we currently believe is the mist of Bori. But we don't know. Maybe. It's a film. Okay. And inside of the very center of this dome, we see Mr. Von Zarovich himself, Big Daddy Vampire, sleeping serenely.
You might even call him Zaddy.
He's sleeping in the pool of blood. Okay, it's serious. And what happens next is that some of both the rocks from the mountain and the wind from the tornado get inside Hamartia's body through her mouth and nose and ears, and it seems like into the outside that this sort of elemental fey demon being is getting channeled into Hamartia. That's something that Nyx notices, but only the elemental part, if I remember correctly.
No, you could detect all of it.
Okay. And then, after she gets all of the elemental juice, in her vision, she loses control of her body. It moves on its own will, or at least the will of something else. And she brings out this black sort of opal, and in her left hand, and what seems to be her own dagger in the right hand. Then she gets to Rin, and to be family friendly, I would say that she gives her a really, really passionate haircut. She gives her some really, 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 really passionate dental care, or more should I say oral care. She cuts off her tongue. She gives her some really, really, really passionate manicure.
Pedicure, but it's a feet.
Pedicure, yeah, fine.
Yes. And a double day.
Yes, and she tries to basically combine all of these components into and try to use them to shatter the chain. So we have the tongue, some hair, a toe, and the black opal. But it seems to be not enough. It seems to be that the chain is still holding, and then Hamartia wonders, so what do I need to do to actually break the chain? Because this seems like it's not enough. And then, in her vision, she sees this leather-bound tome bearing the crest of the Zarovich family. With that information, Hamartia wakes up before being promptly yeeted.
Alright. Julie, you want to take the rest? Last of it?
Hamartia gets yeeted and comes back to. We're all very worried about her. And we lose the session summary.
I can take care of the rest.
No, we there is like a flash of purple light from the hooded one, which makes us think that we might be on the right track. And we all are approached by floating pebbles, which apparently scare Nyx and Ezzy more than a fucking undead dragon could. I mean, she wasn't there for the dragon, I think, but point still stands. We all touch the pebbles and gain some power from those stones, who apparently deemed us worthy. We then go ahead and get the engravings or whatever on the stones.
Mm-hmm.
And Nyx casts Comprehend Languages. We think we still don't have the full picture of that, and we might need the last set of stones. But after we crawl up and before we could think about our next move, which is definitely throwing Nyx off a bridge, we all get out of the tunnel to find Nyx being choked by one Strahd von Zarovich.
Yes. Oh god. Here we go. Thank you. Let's get back into it.
Why is there a horse?
Well, we shall find out. Out of the frying pan and into the fire. This day seems endless in its dangers. As Nyx exhaustedly accepted the helping hand to get out of the spiral tunnel, leaning down to the stone circle far underneath Jester Hill, he was quickly swept up by an iron grip around his throat. Less than a meter away from Strahd's face twisted in anger, Nyx squirmed to break free from the chokehold, but the vampire's vice-like grip proved unyielding. His croaking warnings were completely drowned out by a crack of thunder. So climbing out of the tunnel behind him, one by one, Hamartia, Illyria, Esmeralda froze in fear for a moment, not believing what is unfurling before their eyes. A heartbeat later, the icy, paralyzing hold breaks in your muscles, exchanged by liquid hot panic coursing through your veins. You take in the situation quickly. A horse with a black mane and a tail that transforms into a black mist at their ends, as well as bright purple shining eyes, stands calmly a few meters away. Nyx is held aloft, up into the air through a one-handed choke grip around his throat, and judging by the bluish color of his cheeks, he is already suffocating. Shouting into his face, bearing razor-sharp fangs and flashing red eyes, Strahd demands to know what Nyx has done. Hearing that, the rest of you, who just cleared this tunnel, his face whips towards Illyria. Him! My brother I could somewhat stomach. But why would you lower yourself to give your affection to this young, arrogant fool?
Put him down.
Why? He has committed treason, Illyria, and I must mete out justice. Do you think I would not find out? There is not a second you walk in the mists of Barovia that I do not know where you are and what you're doing.
I know. Put him down, please.
Strahd turns to look at you, Nyx, again. There is the upper lip kind of crusts upwards in disgust, and he moves his head to the side, just watching you squirm in his grip, before he very casually just opens up his hand and you fall crumpled to the ground. What a mess you have created. I desire the forest folk and the Red Fang to be turned into something useful. Something to uphold the order. Something that is controlled by me. Yet you stumble into my carefully laid plans and wreak havoc maliciously when you know better. And you call yourself heroes of these lands. I have never heard such ignorant deception.
We aren't calling ourselves heroes.
Finally, some wisdom. He looks over to Hamartia takes you in, up and down. The little changeling with her hand in the cookie jar. Aren't you a mischievous one? If you enjoy a taste of that power, I shall graciously drown you. After all, I do not suffer naughty children in my kingdom. Be warned.
My Lord Strad, I believe you misunderstand. I did not come here in search of power. And perhaps power stumbled its way into me, but it's not me who sought it out. But I do wish to understand something, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm just trying to understand how this abomination, this winter splinter, could have had order on something. How could... It didn't seem sentient, it seemed hungry. It killed its own people, the people that brought it life, uncontrollably. I just fail to understand. How can such thing bring order to our fair valley?
He twists his head to the side again, and his mood brightens a little bit as he watches you. Finally, somebody useful. The Night Apostle Rin did not promise me this. If that was the case, I would have eradicated it myself. She assured me that they could control it. If they couldn't, then you only needed to stand back, and I would have cleared this mess myself.
You see. Well, perhaps it seems that there was a miscommunication, since clearly our interests aligned in this issue, my lord.
Am I so difficult to understand? I thought I made myself quite clear. I am the Lord. I am the land. I am the ancient. I am the ruler of Barovia. And I take my task very seriously. I do not create destruction for destruction's sake. That is not my wish at all. Everybody should just live in a peaceful order underneath me. If everybody just agreed. And he makes a big sigh.
But
then we wouldn't have these issues, now would we?
a lot of the people are suffering, you know that.
As I am suffering. I am trying to fix it. I have been trying to get into contact with the Protectorate for years now. Trying to solve this strange curse that we all find ourselves in. I do not wish to be imprisoned here. I do not wish to imprison all these people. But as long as I am, I cannot let my legacy, my power, my wisdom to die. I need sustenance.
Nix begins to, as he's gonna be like on the floor, whole rubbing his neck. Nix is gonna laugh a little, softly and strained, and looking up at Strahd while still rubbing his neck. You mean you don't know my lord? Lord Strahd, you don't know why you are struggling so? Because we know. We have learned, and I'm sorry. I'm just surprised. I'm surprised. I
Like
mean,
he looks at you through underneath his eyebrows, like his whole face darkened as he just patiently waits.
I'm not trying to mock you. I apologize. I mean, you are obviously immensely powerful, my lord, but after all of this time, as long as I've lived, you don't know who's working against you? The reason why you're having such a difficult time doing what you want to do? You realize you have active people in Barovia preventing you from doing what you're wanting to do. We have learned this. Nix looks up to him, like, genuinely looking at him like, how can you not know this?
Then speak, worm. What have I missed?
Nix looks to Hamartia. And then like blinks several times rapidly and looks back up to Strahd, you know, his eyes more bloodshot than usual. But the hags, of course. If they seek to undermine everything that you are doing in league with another entity that is essentially controlling everything. We have been out and about.
Do not speak her name. I have her under control. And he's gonna, like step a foot into your stomach, whilst you're down on the ground, and like pushing you further down into the ground.
I don't mean to offend, my lord. I don't jump on the messenger. We're just doing our thing.
I cannot fathom why you would choose something like that. And he looks down on Nyx. Over. Maybe I must forgive you for your naivete and your youth. Maybe I must have more patience. Tatiana was after all hundreds of years old, with surely meaningless flames in her past. I do hope that you grow up fast, my dear, for your friend's health's sake.
My lord, may I ask you a question?
His eyes only move over to you, like there's no change.
When we first met, you noticed something in me that incurred your wrath a smidge. Might I ask? I do not believe there is a power in Barovia as of this moment which can oppose you in the contest of physical strength. But why were you so furious about it? What... Did I disturb something that shouldn't have been disturbed?
Do not worry, little changeling. You are still high up on my list. You're currently teetering on an edge, holding on to a shield that is your companion, and my everlasting affection to Lady Illyria. You are actively undermining me, little changeling. And I have no qualms punishing naughty children.
For the first time this entire conversation, Amatia's eyes betray a certain defiance. As she says, punishment is not something that I can be threatened with, my lord. If you know Morgantha, then you know that I've been punished in many, many different ways.
And now you underestimate my creativity. And then we have you. You're Esmeralda, this traitor's cousin. You are the very first Visani that has rejected my embrace and my protection. And now you have infected somebody else with your disease. You have been outside of my grasp for many years, beyond the mists. How utterly daft must you be to think that you can return here without any consequences? But then again, I know that you're a thrill seeker, and as the lord of these lands, I would hate to disappoint you. You shall get what you deserve, at one point or the other. Esmeralda smiles a crooked smile. Sweat coming down her forehead, a hand on her short sword, and she lets it out of her scabbard a couple of centimeters as she takes one step forward. I'm glad you think so highly of me. Now, I know that he might be a little bit useless and you're very angry with him, but you see, I do like my cousin, so please take your foot off of his stomach. There's a tense moment between the two, but Strahd Eyes passes over Illyrius, and that foot holding you down to the ground, Dix, is removed, and he takes a step away from you.
I will slowly inch back like 5 or like 1 meter.
Yeah, like before you. Whoa!
I'm crawling on the ground, you know.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Why are you here? To warn us?
I'm actively deciding the punishment, my dear. I said that there would be consequences for your insubordination. And you have forced my hand. I'm merely deciding how merciful I should be.
What do you have in mind?
Two things. I have seen you carrying around that mysterious blade of Sir Hongard. Did you unearth it? Surely you do not believe that that blade is enough to deter me. A company of knights and a dragon couldn't defeat me with the Illyria. Love, I adore you, but please try to think things through next time. And give me that dangerous tool that you carry with you. And he holds out a hand.
What if I refuse?
As I said, dear, please look past your stubbornness and try to dip your toes into some wisdom now.
Lyria just kind of looks like between the group. And sees that we're probably not really in any position to take him on.
Nix looks at Illyria with like, ever so slightly shaking his head like, don't give it to him.
If it's not enough to deter you, then why should you be worried about me having it?
He smiles for the first time. Nevertheless, I am interested in its origins.
Well, I'm afraid I would very much like to keep it.
And I am very much afraid that you have blatantly disobeyed me. I love your soul, Illyria, and I will forever. But I am foremost the lord of these lands, and I shall have order. Even you are not safe for my responsibilities, which I hold to the highest degree of honor. That sword is dangerous because of what it represents. I cannot have more rebellion, stupid peasants that think that they could even scratch me. It creates so much unnecessary bloodshed. All I wish for is peace.
People usually rise up because they have things to be unhappy about. You know about the Protectorate and you know about what it represents.
I do. An interesting experiment. I wonder how long it will last. And I wonder when another vampire empire comes sailing to these shores. A demon army, perhaps. Goliath horde, roaming orcs. Dwarves with pride issues. This archipelago is torn apart by war. It needs stability to deter such threats. I am the only one capable of doing so. One day, those stupid dwarves will do as I say. They are already starting to get tempted, considering that they sent you.
They were unaware of your identity.
Surely, you do not believe that lie. For decades now, I've been slowly chipping away at their will, their pride. I think soon they will realize that they need me.
They wouldn't do that. No.
I am not on the best of terms with Duchess Meulen. But if the Protectorate refuses me, then I have no other choice. Do you wish Duchess Meulen to govern this archipelago? Or do you wish that I do it? She's a crude beast, nothing else.
We don't want to be either under either of your thumb. That's why the Protectorate exists.
Futility, my dear. It will fail.
What are you gonna do? Host parties like the one at your castle?
I have been in the business of statecraft for millennia. You cannot lecture me about it. I ruled
I'm not trying
an
to
empire.
lecture you on statecraft. I'm trying to lecture you on decency and empathy.
Do you truly think that a ruler over such a vast portion of land have the luxury in Kasai to care about decency and empathy?
Yes.
Darling, you're young. But I cannot fault you for that.
Why?
That hope, that naivety, I do find it endearing. It's cute, but reality is another matter. You should leave those things with me. I know better. Speaking of which, the blade. Now. Takes a step forward.
I'm sure we can come to another agreement.
So now you wish to decide your own punishment. Alright, amuse me.
Nyx gets up at this point. Like, seeing as Strahd is making his way towards Illyria. And, still gives Illyria a look of, can't let him have it. And, turns to Strahd and says, My lord, surely you could give the Protectorate a show of good faith that you have everything under control. I don't know what is going on with these dwarves that you say, but what is happening here and now is that...
Treacherous charlatan, testing your luck when you have none! The
I
other
gave
part
you-
of the punishment Watch closely,
Leave
Lyria. This is what
him.
happens to lesser men and traitors in my presence.
Stop this right now.
He turns
Give
to
you
you.
this. Perhaps this could be of value. And Hamatia will pull out the sapphire.
Sapphire?
No, you don't have the sapphire. It's
The-
in
no,
the
I don't.
bag.
the tourmaline-
Shit, yes!
The
Fucking give it to
heart,
him.
the heart of the
No.
weaver is in Nix's bag. You hid it for
Ow.
a specific reason.
Let Bexxy do it.
Sorry.
Let Bexxy kill.
Strahd turned his face to Nyx, and he's gonna like lean in and whisper low underneath his breath, dripping with malice. You desired to experience what it was like to be me for a moment. As your loving lord, I shall grant you another wish. And he reaches out lightning fast and will attempt to touch your head.
Oh god. Well,
Get away from him.
I mean, lightning fast. Attempt to touch your head. Okay,
Yeah, but
well.
I will roll to do an unarmed attack on you. Unless you let it happen.
No.
Alright.
There's an 84 hit.
Wow.
That's a 1,000 hit.
That's a 19 hit.
Nyx's instinctual reaction would be to cast shield and block it.
Alright. The soul, the reddish light of the soul flashes in your hand. That arcane shield, yours, shimmering in purple and in a golden light, blocks his hand just before, just centimeters away from your forehead, and he laughs low in his throat, but looks unhappy
And
at the same time.
Illyria try to go between them.
Yeah, that was basically his turn. So at this point, the one who says something first, do it.
Illyria is gonna basically kind of try to get in between Strahd and Nyx.
Well, right now they're very close, or Strahd placed himself very close to them. You can try to shove him away to have enough space to put yourself in between them, which will then be a grapple attack basically, but to shove instead.
I mean, she's definitely gonna sort of
But you can probably be reaching a hand, right? But you cannot place your your whole self. in
Yeah,
between
okay.
the two.
She's kind of try. She's gonna put her hand on Strahd's, both her hands, and she's just gonna look at him and whatever you want to do, please don't.
I told you there will be consequences. You chose this. Nyx, you gonna do anything? Or
I'll come with you. I'll write that letter to the Protectorate.
Nyx is gonna kind of, oh god, he's gonna want to counter shove Illyria away,
Jeez.
okay. I think Illyria is not thinking this would happen. So I would say if you want to do a grapple, do so with advantage against her. To shove her away. Unless Illyria, you allow that to happen.
No, she would not.
Okay, alright.
Braun.
And then Illyria, you can choose Dex or Brawn if you wanna dodge or move out of the wall. Or resist it.
She dodges out of the way.
Next to Australia and said, Illyria, you don't have a bargaining chip here. You are too important to me and to Barovia to do anything of such high value. For me, I'm not worth that much. Not when there's so much at stake. And looks towards Strahd and says, I know what you're after, Lord. I know what you wish to take from me.
Do you
It's
now?
your way of banishing, right? It's a way of punishing me. I didn't know exactly. Maybe this could be something that we would learn in future encounters. No need to be hasty when you could just simply ask. If you want to take it from me, I won't stop you this time. I know consequences have to be made. After all, I did put on a pretty impressive version of you. You should have seen those werewolves. Tail between their legs. It was almost enough for me to want to contain.
What are you
Well,
doing?
They are definitely not what they used to be. Quite pitiful, aren't they? I'm trying to remedy the situation. Do
in my
not
opinion,
touch
Lord,
her again like that.
I can't control her any more than you can, as we have
We
both
shall
seen.
see about that. But I respect your words. At least there's some dignity. And he reaches out slowly and goes for your face.
As he does so, I look towards Illyria with a gentle smile and say, and mouths without wording, it'll be alright.
Okay. His touch is cold at first, but soon it becomes searingly hot. As you blink away at the pain, trying to remain standing, at least, you know, he's not gonna take at least your integrity from you. But as you blink, the world around you switches. In front of your eyes, there is a blackened and cracked hellscape with jagged stones and flowing beds of lava that just stretches across the whole horizon. Hellish creatures walk the land in disturbing variety of horrendous forms of nightmare underneath an orange-red sky. From deep pits, dank caves, black iron citadels, you can feel and hear the pain of thousands of souls crying out in pain. Laceration, breaking of bones, gouging of eyes, removal of teeth, nail, hair, gashes that bite deep, blows that bruise blue and purple. The pain assaults your brain, breaks it in twain, as the malicious laughter surrounds you, gloating at your suffering. Like a massive cloud, the sky blackens by the shadow of a gigantic female form with bat wings and bat ears reaching out through the clouds for you. You blink again, and you're back in Barovia. What you saw will forever haunt your nightmares. And, you, take. Let's see.
Oh no. Wait, for having one thing is nightmares is not enough?
Jokes on him, I always have nightmares.
Jesus.
58 points of psychic damage.
Ooh.
Oh, I need to roll. Vitality saving throw?
Yeah.
What's the DC?
Well, I've been planning on increasing it, but for now it's just 12.
It's just 12?
Mm-hmm.
God, for this, I'm gonna use my inspiration before I even roll
That's a good idea.
for vitality saving. Oh no.
Oh my god, you're safe.
Yeah, it's just 12 you need to reach. The DV is 12. So
Oh my god! You lucky
Oh, thank
bastard!
fuck.
You lucky bastard!
but it doesn't stop there.
Jeez.
Still like touching your face, his fingernail suddenly grows. There's a black energy that surrounds them, which sometimes is jumping electricity of a very dark red within it. And just from your forehead down to your shin, he rakes his claws across your face.
Oh, damn.
Oh no.
Bitch.
For how much damage?
You're gonna fall down to 1 damage, and instead of falling unconscious, I am creating horrendous scarring on your face,
Oh, damn.
as per the persistent injury effect.
Are you now?
Yep.
Are you?
Okay. So three scratches, three like 3 lines, or
Yeah. Yeah, across your face diagonally.
I'll put myself to 1 HP,
Thank you.
and I will mark it in my appearance.
And very nonchalantly, he brushes off the blood on his cape with his hand, just as if, that was just completely normal. And turns to Lyria and says, please don't make this moment any more unpleasant than it already is.
Then you already made it.
It is my burden. Something placed upon me when I was just a child. But I'm strong enough to carry it. The sword, Lyria.
Nyx gasps after all that's happened to him, and says, "We need it, my lord. We need it. For now, we need it to
Can
take
I
care."
propose something else?
I thought you had learned your lesson. Little Nyx. Please stop making those little noises. Yes, Lyria. What could you offer? As punishment for your disloyalty.
Don't know if it is punishment, but what I can offer you is to do as you asked and contact the protectorate. .
I will never let you leave the mists. Not again.
A simple letter to my parents.
Then who should deliver it?
You have people who can deliver it, no? My parents are some of the most prestigious mages in the Protectorate, and if anybody knows how you could break this curse, they could figure it out.
He thinks to himself, looks up to the sky a bit. His jaw flexes, then looks down upon you again. For you, I shall be merciful. Know that that is a very special gift.
Thank you.
Write this letter now. And I wish to see what you write before you seal it.
I will.
He takes a step back away from Nick's, kind of moves his cloak as he does so, you know. Stands with impeccable posture. Essie looks over to Nyx with like a hand like half out in the air with like clear expression on her face of like, oh my god, are you okay?
No, I'm not okay.
He does not look okay. Does he look okay to you?
Like Essie's like going insane back there, but she's.
You're okay. Are you okay?
Are you okay? Are you okay?
Yeah. Yeah, Illyria will get some paper and something to write and start writing.
Hamatia will, as soon as she can, pop a second level healing ward on Nyx. That's what I miss the pain.
Healing ward.
Healing ward. That's a new one.
Ward.
Healing sword!
Essie also comes over and like touches a hand to his shoulder and like does a little thumbs up.
Dix gives her like the most sarcastic look in his state.
Yeah.
Inches from death.
Jesus.
Yeah, you find like a stone, Illyria, that you can sit down by and at least have something hard. It's a little bit awkward. It's not the best calligraphy
Yeah.
you've ever done in your life. But it works.
I think she's gonna write 2 letters actually if Straw lets her.
Yeah, he won't stop
Like
you.
one
He's-
in like in sort of like official capacity for the Protectorate. Like, hey, I'm still alive. I'm gonna stay here longer. Please have this delivered to my parents and send some mages or whatever.
Sad, Mordia.
And one she is going to write addressed directly to her parents asking for their aid.
And he basically stands over your shoulder this whole time. It's a little bit unnerving having that presence, supernatural presence, like hovering just behind your back. But he watches every word you write in silence. Okay. 10 minutes or so passes. He finishes. You seal them up.
Yeah.
Do you hand it over?
Yeah. She hands them to him. I hope these will be satisfactory.
He pauses with them in his hand. It doesn't hurt, at least. I sincerely hope that there is a way to end all of this.
I hope so too.
I've been trying for centuries. Illyria, it would please me if you do not let this happen again. I do this because I must, not because I enjoy it.
You're the only one who thinks that this is something you must do.
You will see with time that you're wrong. But until you do, I will not let you.
I won't have centuries to come to those conclusions.
Come now. That will change soon.
Is that still something you want?
Something I want. Lyria. It is your destiny. How can I stand to lose you with just half a century left? My love is eternal. Then for not your sake, for theirs, please make sure I don't have to do this again to them. Have I made myself clear?
Yes.
Then, until
Can
next
I
time.
Ask you one more thing.
Of course.
You don't have to answer, of course. And she kind of like points towards the sky. It's like, that city, what is it?
So you saw it. His features softens a little bit, like his shoulders droop a bit.
I have, and I saw her? She says that with like a big like question mark walking it.
You did. It's strange how you two are connected. It's so similar, yet so different. It's our home, Illyria. Before the coming of the cold. Before we had to flee to these shores. The ancient seat of the Savoie throne.
Let's see.
It's good. It gladdens me that you remember. Maybe you can remember some of the time we spent together. And how I was before this tragedy. And understand the power, the riches, the influence you would have in society if you would take your place along my side. I can give you the world.
I don't want the world. I want to be able to enjoy the sun.
I see. I miss it too, even though it stings. I'm working on it. These will surely help. And he places the letters inside of his coat. An impeccable bow in front of you, Illyria. Then strides over to his horse. Saddles it. Goes off in a furious gallop. And suddenly the horse simply takes flight and disappears into the mist.
Lyria will head over towards Nyx.
Nyx is like taken a sash from his tail and just like bundled it up into like a rag and is like got it over his face. And as Illyria comes over, he smiles at her.
You okay?
Oh, this? This- just a scratch.
At least I managed to convince him to let us have the sword.
It was either this or you would have to give it up. He was looking for some sort of payment and he wasn't going to stop until we paid.
Hey, you can't speak. Come on. Get you up, okay? Just
It's not the end of the world. It's painful. Not going to lie.
Lyria just kind of like almost like holds back, like tries to hold back a tear, and it's just like, I'm just glad you're alive.
Me
Damn.
too.
Cuz. You got a set of balls. Just saying.
I concur.
Almost as big as mine, but only almost.
Perhaps, but I have other skills that you don't. And he pulls the rag away, which is drenched in blood from the scars that are on his face. He's gonna pull a soul, second level soul, out of his soul mark. And it's gonna glimmer like a shining orb in front of him, like right inches from his nose. And he's going to just like boop his snoot on it, as he's kind of gonna be like doing a soul consumption healing spell.
To his face.
Oh damn!
And the
That's gonna
soul,
piss Strahd off.
the soul itself re-knits the scar back, and he looks pristine.
I feel like this is cheating somehow. Cheating in the good kind of the word though.
Oh yeah, you do realize that he might repeat that the next time he sees you.
Perhaps, but like I said, he wouldn't have stopped until we paid, and I kind of felt I knew what he was going to do, and well, I kind of felt I could mitigate it. You know, make him feel like he won, but at the same time, not win.
Well,
If he had gotten that sword, Illyria, I don't know what we would have done.
I just hope we can settle this matter before my family gets dragged into it.
Well, who can say? We survived this encounter. I barely, but you know, we survived, and we have the backing of the entity that we just, you know, kind of helped out, so we are getting stronger. I feel it.
We are.
Okay, so all in all, your face is not fucked. That's good. We still have magic sword, and we all probably lost a little bit of well sweat. You know, yeah, I think that's a good conclusion.
Yeah.
It could be worse. We could have all died at the spot, and then that would have been nice, now would it?
No. But I think we all need some rest.
I think, Nix, you might be able to run all the way to Ravenloft in your shape, I think.
In my shape.
Yes. You just look so fit right now, so battle ready.
Nick's like slowly turns his head towards Hamatia, like, squeeze me?
You can take on the whole world right now.
Nick's kind of gestures to himself. Did you get bonked on the head? I mean, you were suspended, but I am a little bit sore, to say the least. His grip is very strong, and I did not anticipate being thrust out of this crevice by my neck and being held aloft for so much time. I was really close to passing out. Maybe for the last time. I don't think I can run, but I appreciate your attempt to lighten the mood.
I'm being sarcastic. I think you should probably sleep.
Right. Sarcasm.
Jokes! Humor! You see, like, the most awkward smile.
This was. I felt like my life was flashing before my eyes there for a second. Like this was not okay. How could even Richten like give himself up willingly to that monster?
Because he believed that we could take him down.
I didn't want to put another person I know in harm's way, basically. That's why I did it. Either you, Illyria, or Hamatir, or even you, Essie.
Okay, if anyone here can take some nasty punishment, it should be to me next time. Next.
It wasn't after you, Hamatir, though.
Yes, you pissed him off quite well.
And I'd do it again.
I'm not
Maybe
so
we should
sure.
refrain from doing that for a while.
Yeah.
What was he talking about, Illyria? There was a lot of talk about that protectorate and those dwarves. Like, I have no idea what he was talking about. What did he mean by that?
Well, he says that apparently he has been influencing the protectorate, and them not knowing his identity or what was going on here was a lie.
What does that mean?
I don't believe a word of it. Well, you know what the protectorate is, what it stands for, right?
Of course, I went and delivered the message, and you're here because of that.
The protectorate exists because they didn't want to be treated as lesser anymore by vampires.
Yeah,
But
Richten talked about it a lot.
of course, and well, Asphodel also wanted to do her part to, enforce what the Argent Purifiers wanted to do.
But then
He
again,
thinks
Richten often said that he mistrusted the upper crust of the Copperbeards. Said that they weren't all that, if you know what I mean.
I feel like I should be more familiar with what was going on in the Protectorate, but quite frankly, I don't really care that much. I want to believe that the Protectorate wouldn't just let itself be influenced by a vampire.
Would the Protectorate be in need of someone of empiric nature? Are you facing some sort of rough time over there? What can he
Protectorate's
exploit?
whole existence has been a rough time.
I am rather tired, not going to lie, and I'm sure that we have many more questions. Not that I'm rushing to go down a hill anytime soon, I'm just mindful that there's a storm above us, and Hamatia, those children's lives aren't getting any less risky.
You don't need to remind me.
I am beat, like tired to my bone.
Yes.
Me too. Me too.
Well, this has been quite a day, and perhaps it's for the best that we rest up here, patch ourselves, give ourselves a little pat on the back for killing a giant tree and avoiding death by vampire.
I think it might be a good idea that we return to the wagon and the horses to make sure that they're right.
Yeah,
Ah, yes, yes, yes.
we should
of
do
course.
that.
And I kind of want to get away. Can we just like walk into the forest somewhere and feel at least that we're more safe?
So, first off,
Down
we
the
can
hill.
do This.
Down the hill.
Let's
Yes.
get to the horses first, and then find a spot to rest.
Yes, hide somewhere, and then blessed sleep.
Nick struggles to his feet.
Do you need
rinses
some
out
help,
the
Grandpa?
sash. I'll be fine. Got the.
Martia will try to support you if you let her.
And Essie will too. I mean, she's all taunting, but she really cares.
So yeah, we rush you.
Damn, you people trying to help me.
But with some help, you skimper away from that spiraling tunnel, the corpse of what used to be Golthias, twisted into a winter splinter, past the camp with the smoldering embers of what used to be that large Wickerman statue, where you can see in a corner of it the forest folk that remain have gathered and they're chanting and seemingly burning Hula. Past that, to the apex, you walk past all the blight bodies that remain here on the path in the wake of your destruction, the pools of blood, the trampling of the underbrush, all the way down to that first circle of stones with the obelisk that was carved with primordial horses and forest folk in the past, into the forest just beside the road. You pick up your wagon, the horses. You find yourself a quiet little area in the forest and make up camp. And you just have some quick, provisions that you have with you. You don't even don't even want to cook. It's just some beef jerky and some hardtack bread, and you fall asleep to another howl of a very sad wolf in the forest.
Oh no!
And that will end tonight's episode of Charismatic Misery.
What's it?
Yeah, we don't. It's bedtime.
Your is in bed.
Better than expected. But
No, no. Okay, fine.
He really needs to sleep. He looked at me with a death stare a few seconds ago.
But we didn't just sneak off a bridge.
Yeah, it's something to look forward to.
Okay.
Wow.
Wow, fuck. Wow, that was...
That was intense though.
Whoop.